Well, hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video I will be talking about my 1940s British bush jacket. Well, obviously this model is something quite a bit unique because it's actually probably a custom made one for this specific corporal, I presume. Yes. And the interesting thing about it, it doesn't really exactly follows up the regulations of many of the bush jackets, mainly because of the interesting officer-like pockets, which are unique to this example. I have yet to see any other actual official pattern that uses this, as well as his probably, modifications onto the backside of the jacket. We'll get into those in due time, of course. But first of all, I pretty much got this thing. I saw it. It's just like, oh my god, that's like a bush jacket. It looks really nice. And I thought, might as well buy it. I was looking for, something to do with my, well, you can probably tell there, my Turkish Cypriot kit that I'm kind of working on for the Cyprus Regiment. Well, let's get into the details, shall we? Obviously, obviously, first of all, the main thing you see, the jacket itself uses original World War II pattern battle dress buttons, as far as I know, and sadly the label on it is gone, and there's no way to know what this thing was except for a small marking of the broad arrow, which is, it's typical for British acceptance markings. Obviously, there are, yeah, 1937 belts, some problems with this age, seeing here one of the buttons has been broken off, as well as one button being missing on top of the collar. The main reason I think this is a World War II pattern, World War II made, custom made jacket is simply because of the color actually being a closed color instead of the post-war ones being an open color design. That's what I have been told, at least by some of my reenactor friends. The interesting thing about this jacket, obviously aside from its design and custom fit to the individual, is that it uses these types of pockets. I don't exactly know the correct tailor's term for these, but you see these quite often in British officer uniforms where these quite large pockets, and I have always been a fan of those, so it's quite a nice touch, I might say. Obviously, it's quite crudely made in a way because, this is just a khaki drill uniform. The origins of the khaki drill uniform for the British Army is fairly similar to, all of the militaries who, experimented with camouflage clothing. Obviously, the British Empire being such a vast empire of its time, you would have, specific uniforms made for specific climates and specific environments. The khaki drill was first issued around India, if I believe, in the 1850s, but wasn't widespread until the Boer War, that is, which is 40 years later, almost 46, 45, let's just say. From then on, obviously, you got the First World War pattern uniforms, which are kind of similar to the 1902 service dress uniforms without, lower pockets. But aside from that, during World War II, you would have many different types of bush jackets, uniforms, even, the simple battle dress uniform being made in khaki drill as well. This uniform belongs to, as you can see, to a corporal. No idea which regiment or who this person was, but luckily his dimensions were exactly same as me, and his bush jacket simply fits me quite well. So going to some of the small details here, obviously the regiment that I'm trying to portray is the Cyprus Regiment from the Second World War. This regiment was mostly made out of Greek Cypriots, but there were also a couple thousand Turkish Cypriots who joined the 10,000 strong regiment. These guys were simply most of the time supply units and mule carriers, kind of guys who would use mules to bring supplies to the front lines. But that was no means meant that they never saw combat. On the contrary, they were mostly under fire, and even at Dunkirk, they weren't issued any firearms as far as I was able to research about it. So they had to fend off themselves during the evacuation without any proper weapons or weapons training. And they were also, sent to North Africa as well as Greece and Crete. And you can guess what happened to them in Crete as well. Many of them were captured, sent to POW camps, but many still fought during the North Africa and even Italy campaigns after Crete. So this uniform could work for perhaps a Crete, not exactly Crete, but Italian campaign or late North Africa campaign. Even for post-war use, the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots were sent to the Middle East, to Jerusalem, for example, to act as military police, and they did police duties. So this uniform was quite acceptable for those climates as well, but obviously can also be seen at Cyprus itself. Right. Going back to the details, obviously I have my 1937 belt, which is an original example. Right now I am not able to open it, obviously. One-handed is never easy. Sadly, obviously it's in the back, but I'll show you guys later. The previous owner obviously, had his name on it, and while these things are usually surplused out, they use black paint to cover those names, so no official dates or proper stamps remain on it, sadly. But it is most likely an early war period, nevertheless, it's definitely a wartime one. Now, shortly looking at the backside of the tunic, it's obvious that it was quite modified and, quite custom fit to the individual. With pleats and darts made, it quite does have an elegant fit to it. Obviously, I believe there are remnants of these modifications. Usually with bush jackets I've seen, there's like a middle belt, a cotton belt, the same made material from the tunic that goes around here. And these might be the remnants of the original, belt loops, but they could also might as well be the modifications done to add the extra pleats in the back, you see. And also, I just removed the belt, so you can quite see, some of the markings. Sadly, they're not that intelligible, and obviously the black paint doesn't help at all. So, yeah, this is pretty much it so far. I am planning on to getting some shorts and, ammo boots, World War II pattern ones, in order to portray the Cyprus Regiment in the either North Africa campaign or Italy. For my cap, obviously I might have to change my foreign service cap into a general service cap, which is like a weird looking wonky beret, which is made of a brown sarge wool, but I quite like the foreign service cap more than the general issue, general service caps, so that can wait. And one thing that I forgot to mention to you guys is that this is actually an original 1941 example, which you can probably see the 1941 there. I added the original cap badge later, but yes, this is an original example. Now I will try to probably show you guys how it kind of fits on me. Well, I hope you guys can excuse the background. Obviously, student accommodations are not exactly the best ideal place to be making videos, but we gotta have to deal with the situation at hand. So this is pretty much how the kit looks so far. Obviously, I shall be getting proper shorts either Gurkha shorts or 1941 pattern khaki drill shorts. Probably from What Price Glory, because original examples, strangely enough, are extremely expensive for just simple cotton uniforms. Um, I even got this jacket for £35. So paying £90 for just the shorts, I don't know. I'll probably go with replicas, but well, this is pretty much it. Obviously, my hat will probably have to be changed specifically for this uniform. But I quite like the look, and I shall be looking into obviously photographic evidence of such khaki drill uniforms being used with the Foreign Service cap. But nonetheless, I shall be looking into the General Service caps as well. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I have some plans in the future for reenactments, and maybe perhaps making a documentary with a friend about reenacting, especially during the time of COVID. But until then, stay tuned, and thank you for watching.